In the UFC, you've got guys living in $10 million mansions with private gyms, ocean views, and underground garages stuffed with Lamborghinis. But it hasn't always been like that. Before the helicopters and hot tubs, some fighters didn't even have running water. Some lost everything. Others gave it all up on purpose, chasing that feeling once again.
We used to split a Benz in fours, it's multiple plugs, extension cords. And if double tap on a rap, it's a rap, no cap, you don't get respawned. I don't really get this drawn.
Today, we're looking at the wild range of homes UFC fighters have lived in, from a cardboard box to million-dollar estates. Make sure to stick around till the end, cause the places the best fighters in the world get to rest their head at night get pretty insane. Starting off with a heavyweight who lost everything. Once known as the boa constrictor, Alexander Oleinik made a name for himself by choking out opponents with Ezekiel chokes and pulling off more submissions than some entire divisions. But outside the cage, life hit back hard. After a messy divorce, Oleinik lost not only his home but also his family. The bank came in and took whatever was left. The car, the property, gone. This is a man who fought on UFC main cards, a guy with decades of experience. And suddenly, he was left with no home to go to. It was one of the harshest reminders that fighting inside the cage is just one part of the battle. And being part Russian, part Ukrainian, scrapping by in Florida at almost 50 doesn't seem like a dream life. There is one Hall of Famer, however, who chose to live like a bum. Ken Shamrock used to be one of the biggest names in MMA. He was the first UFC fighter to make over $1 million for a single fight. But years later, he found himself living in a trailer behind a tire shop in San Diego. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. Shamrock said success made him too comfortable. People did everything for him, and he felt like he lost his edge, suffering from success. So he stripped everything away. No running water. He showered at the gym, boiled jugs of water just to cook. All he had was a leaky roof, a pit bull, a Bible, and a Glock. To outsiders, it looked like a fall from grace. A former star living in a trailer, showering at the gym, cooking over a hot plate. It was about reminding himself who he was, about finding that hunger again. And at 51 years old, training for one more fight, he said he felt better than he had in years. Switching to someone who has a habit of overspending to keep him hungry, Ilia Topuria. His setup in Madrid is elite. What he has is a home built around high-performance living. At the center of it all is a private, pro-level gym that looks like it was plucked straight out of the UFC Performance Institute. We're talking padded mat spaces, heavy bags, boxing gear, and top-tier recovery tech, hyperbaric chambers, and cryotherapy units included. It was the kind of place most elite fighters wish they had in their camp, let alone at home. Its value is estimated well into the 7 figures. Then we have Gamebred. Before people in the cage, he was getting his reps in the backyards of Miami, fighting for peanuts and pride. He started in someone's overgrown lawn with no ref, no gloves, and sure as heck no insurance. But fast forward, Gamebred now lives in a spot that was inspired by none other than Tony Montana. And yes, it's exactly what you'd expect from a Coke-inspired house from the 80s. Oceanfront views, marble floors, private dock for his jet skis. His home gym looks better equipped than some UFC gyms. But don't get it twisted, Masvidal's still Masvidal. You'll still find gold chains next to punching mitts, Versace robes hanging by the front door, and a BMF belt chilling in the kitchen next to a cafecito. He even built a custom studio for his bare-knuckle promotion, Gamebred FC. Oh, and of course, a big-ass driveway full of luxury cars. At the peak of his fame, Chuck Liddell was pulling in million-dollar checks and living like a rock star. His home? A sprawling estate in San Luis Obispo, California. Big glass doors, open concept everything. At least it was until he sold it in 2011 for $1.2 million. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a grand foyer, spiral staircase, and gourmet kitchen. But the best part? A customer bar filled with fight memorabilia and enough booze to host a light heavyweight tournament. The house has its own gym, game room, and pool. Oh, and a spa with a rock slide and custom waterfall because why not? And then there's Brock Lesnar, one of the highest paid UFC fighters ever. And boy oh boy does he hate company. And you're about to find out how. Welcome to Maple Plain, Minnesota, a a place that's equal parts forest, farmland, and complete isolation. This is where Brock once carved out his off-grid empire, a 43-acre ranch tucked in the woods, bought in 2003 for just under $1 million, with the current value probably being north of $2 million. It's 3,247 square feet of wood, muscle, and Midwest grit. We're talking hardwood floors, wide open layouts, a hot tub on a wraparound deck, and a basement that walks right out onto his personal wilderness. And of course, the property flexes heated barns, office spaces, and a massive pole barn that probably doubles as a gym/armory. The whole setup practically screams, "I want peace, but I'm always ready for war." But he actually left this place to go full mountain man, living in Merrifield, Saskatchewan, in a $2.1 million estate so deep in Canada, even the snow gets lost trying to find him, and he's definitely not showing any of it off. But let's switch to somebody who, unlike Brock, loves all the attention he can get. That's exactly the energy of his housing portfolio, because when you go from plumbing to seven-figure paydays, you don't just flex with watches and cars. You buy land like a medieval warlord. Let's run the tape. First up, back home in Ireland, the Paddocks, a $3 million estate nestled behind a gated elite golf club. The mansion, 5 bedrooms, 6 baths, a spiral staircase, chandeliers, and a games room. When the Irish winter hits, or the law comes knocking, McGregor dips out to Marbella. He dropped $1.6 million on a Mediterranean dream villa in 2018. Located in the Heights on the La Resina golf course, it's quite a stunner. Inside, a gym, home spa, ocean view hot tub, bedroom to pool access, and a wine cellar. And in Las Vegas, there's another $12,000 square feet mansion, 7 bedrooms, a 50-foot infinity pool, a spa, golf course views. Yeah, the man has a thing for golfing. Oh, and a garage for 10 supercars. But because 3 mansions isn't enough, Connor decided to build his 4th and biggest palace in County Kildare, Ireland. Planned to be 5 times the size of a normal mansion with 2 underground basements, one with a swimming pool, cinema, gym, sauna, and treatment room. The other with a games room, a bar, and car park. Basically, it's Batman's cave with somewhat better whiskey. But construction got halted. Kildare County Council raised eyebrows over the sheer size. And with legal troubles brewing, this one's stuck in limbo. Still, when you're worth $200 million, what's a little red tape? And at the top, we have the boss himself. And no, this isn't a regular millionaire's mansion. This is a $50 million flex built on blood, sweat, and paying fighters less than they deserve. Whoops, shouldn't have said that. Anyway, back in 2006, White grabbed a sleek pad for $1.65 million. Already a steal for Vegas. But Dana's not just a boss, he's a builder. Fast forward to 2016, he buys 2 more neighboring homes, bulldozes them all, and Frankenstein's together the ultimate fight promoter fortress. Today, that compound's worth a fat $50 million and spans over 6,000 square feet, stacked with 9 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. And the features? Bonkers doesn't even cut it. Dana didn't just throw a Celtics poster on the wall, he built a full-size basketball court in his house with the classic green logo smack in the middle. Then there's the home arcade, old-school bangers like Daytona USA, Street Fighter, and air hockey. Outside, he's got a lap pool flanked by gazebos, sunbeds, custom-built to survive Vegas heat in full luxury mode. Inside, a private bar and cinema setup that could double as a nightclub. Leather recliners, giant seats, and enough alcohol to sponsor a McGregor party. But the real jaw-dropper? His grappling and boxing room. And just in case you thought it stopped there, he's got an infrared LED bed to speed up recovery. Toss in a massive gym where he pumps iron to cancel out daily cheat meals, and yeah, this place isn't a mansion, it's a CEO's fortress. We've just given you the inside scoop on how your favorite fighters live when they're not throwing punches. If you want more exclusive peeks into the world of MMA, the fighter's crib, their life, and their grind, hit that subscribe button. This channel is your backstage pass to all things UFC.